Hello and welcome for another Sustainable Living Project video. I have had a lot of questions from people asking me about showing them the fleshing process of doing a deer hide. And so I just got this brand new hide from my friend Dave, just got his first deer. And so pretty much, you know, when you get the skin off the deer, you gotta be really careful not to put any knife marks in it, because this will potentially tear holes later on, even if just little nicks. So flesh it, skin it the best you can, and then if you're ready to proceed, you know, it's best to flesh the hide as quickly as possible. You know, I mean, a few hours, even a couple of days, not a big deal if it's not too hot outside. But you definitely don't want the hide to dry or rot. And so, you know, you need to attend to it fairly quickly, or you can fold it, you know, flesh to flesh, and then put it in your freezer until you're ready to deal with it. But that's pretty much what we're gonna do now. So we have the skin, and we still have a little bit of flesh and quite a bit of fat on the skin, and so we're gonna scrape all that off in the next videos on how to bring tiny deer skin. I talk more about my setup and my tools, but pretty much it's just a blunt edge tool so that we don't cut into the skin. And this is just a pole that just helps to do the scraping. And so the goal is going to be to scrape off all the flesh and fat with the scraper, and you're going to be seeing that it's pretty straightforward, is that whatever comes is what you need to get off, and then, you know, you don't sweat the small stuff. So I'm just going to get started now, and you know, I just have the hide on the pole about halfway through, and then you just need to get started and get a bite. I guess just remembering what I wanted to talk about too is that the fat of a deer is totally edible if it's fresh off the deer. You can also render it for candles, or, you know, doing various projects like you know, oiling your tools, or, you know, if you do things with antlers. You know, if you really want to eat it, you definitely need to process it as soon as possible. You don't want to let it sit around and get all funky on you. But that's pretty much it. And so that's, you know, the texture of the skin. It's wet, so it's kind of bluish, and it's smooth. You may see, you know, some vein marks on there, but that's not a big deal at all. You may see a tiny little bit of membrane here on the skin, but you don't worry about that right now. You know, we'll do that later on after we scrape off the grain and the hair and stuff. So right now I really remove just the big stuff, all the fat, all the texture on the hide, all the flesh. And so you're gonna do the entire hide like that, and then if you're just ready to move on, just watch the next videos on how to grain the other side and remove the hair and deal with everything else. If you're not ready to move on, this is a good time to just salt the hide, you know, after you're done. So you flesh it first, and then you can salt the hide and then store it, you know, for a couple of years even. And have an article about that on my blog, and so you can check it out. But really, that's all there is to it. Blunt edge scraper, remove everything that comes off easily until the skin is bluish and smooth, and then go from there. So